Hello everyone, Someone Bart here, and welcome to a new movie review. Yep, as you can tell by all this merchandise I have, it's time to go over a My Little Pony movie. Not that one. I'm talking about the one that came out 5 months ago, and is what I consider to be my favorite movie of 2017. My Little Pony, the movie. The movie is based on the TV show My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, developed by Lauren Faust. Princess Twilight Sparkle is organizing the first Friendship Festival in Canterlot, and her friends Applejack, Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy, Rarity, and Spike are helping out. But a fleet of airships come in on behalf of the Storm King, and Commander Tempest Shadow leads an army of storm creatures to capture the princesses, Celestia, Luna, and Cadance. But after the main 6 ponies and Spike escapes, Twilight overhears Celestia's demand to Luna to seek the Queen of the Hippos, hippogriffs actually, and suggests that they go in search of her to help save Equestria. And so the main 6 and Spike head out beyond Equestria to find the Queen and her clan, while coming across new folks such as a cat named Capper, a band of pirate parrots led by Captain Solano, and sea ponies Queen Novo and Princess Skystar. All the while, Tempest Shadow and her henchman Grubber track down Twilight for the Storm King. Now you may be thinking I'm overhyping this as much as I did last time, but to say why this is my favorite movie from the others, take a guess how many times I've seen it, which also includes dollar cinemas and on DVD. Any guesses? No? Well, I wouldn't wonder. 13 times! Yes, that's right, 13! And to be more specific, that's 7 times in regular theaters, 5 times in dollar cinemas, and 1 time on DVD, which is for this review. But even with saying that, it makes the film all the more memorable and great. But it's not all that flawless. Let's go over what many say is the weakest part of the film, the use of the main 6. Saying that Twilight and Pinkie got too much screen time, Fluttershy gets the least amount of screen time, and the others were neutral. Okay, well I can see why this is a problem. It's not that big of an issue for me, except for one. With Twilight and Pinkie I would get because Twilight is the main lead in this film, and since Pinkie is the most marketed character of the show, it makes sense that she's more present. Having Applejack, Rainbow Dash, and Rarity on even is fine as they are supporting roles. But why is Fluttershy, who's my favorite character in the show, given less screen time than the others? You could have had her be on par with Applejack, Rainbow Dash, and Rarity and I wouldn't have minded. And speaking of which, on top of Fluttershy not getting lots of screen time, people say she hasn't fully developed as this movie's supposed to take place after Season 7, with her being afraid of new creatures and such. Well, that's the thing, they're new creatures. I don't see any problem with this. She's in new territory she hasn't been before, so that means she'll meet new folks she never met before and she has a right to be scared. And it's kind of cute and funny how she treats the enemies differently than the others, and I didn't mind if she went back and forth with her personality between the show and the movie, as it creates variety with the character instead of just being one trait all the time. But the biggest issue people have with the film is Twilight herself as a character, not trusting her friends and going too far with being mean to Pinkie and her friends when going to save Equestria. But for me, I really didn't mind it at all. I mean, with the times Twilight has been mean or angry in the show, it either felt right or wrong depending on the situations she faced. But there are times where it would be my least favorite with Twilight having to give up and it being too mean-spirited and too rushed and all that kind of stuff. And with this, even the moment I've always hated in the show of Twilight being dismissed or giving up actually works in this scenario. Because she's so focused on wanting to save Equestria, she didn't want to trust anybody who's not her kind, as she and her friends are no longer in Equestria and is trying to keep Pinkie and Rainbow from giving them away as to being caught by Tempest. But then she also admits her faults and her friends dismiss her when she's not trusting them. Plus, Twilight's the princess of friendship, and it's nice to see that she forgets her role once in a while, and it's only her friends that know friendship is magic than anything else powerful or magical. So in comparison to how Twilight acts in the show, it's nothing to get upset about. It's all paced well, not that mean-spirited, and found it better than how the 2-parter episodes did them. But my biggest complaint with the movie is this. It's when the sea ponies are revealed to be hippogriffs. They change into them when the Storm King attacks Mount Ares, thanks to a magical pearl. Now on the one hand, it's a well-done idea of having the hippogriffs be ponies, but on the other hand, where are the real sea ponies? Are all the sea ponies hippogriffs? But if there are any actual sea ponies, then where are the real sea pony queen and princess? The advertisements in toy lines always show the pirates and sea ponies, which makes it sound like another Pirates of the Caribbean knockoff, but there's no mention of any hippogriffs. In fact, the name Sea Pony is never mentioned in the entire film, not once. If the film were to go as advertised, it should be that all of the hippogriffs are gone, and the sea ponies are their watery neighbors, and the pearl the sea ponies have can turn them into anything, and not just go back and forth between being who they really are and sea ponies. I mean, if one of the show's books can have actual sea ponies in it, why not this? So the way I see it, the chances of seeing a real sea pony on the show, in this generation anyway, would be close to never. Yet, despite all that, everything else in this movie works out for the best, and they are definitely that great. The animation is by far the best the show offers for a feature-length picture. The redesigns of the characters are interesting, giving more detail than what is on the show. And the combined elements of 3D backgrounds, at some points, with 2D characters are nicely done, and are handled better than in Titan AE. And the character movements are more flowing and natural than in the show, becoming more of an upgrade and making it feel like the Disney Renaissance films. And speaking of Disney, there are moments that are similar to those films. The opening shot is like the Lion King, the inside of Tempest's ship is like the Cloud City Chamber in Empire Strikes Back, and many of the moments with the sea ponies are like the moments in The Little Mermaid. Though I do wish it went all the way with what the Disney film did, with having more of the main six and Spike being underwater without their air bubbles while trying to swim to the surface or something like that. And there is a moment that feels odd. It's basically a joke around that a spell the Storm King uses is of a telephone. There's a ring to the spell, there's a sound of it making a connection, and Tempest and Grubber even acknowledge this with lines like "answer it" and "do you want to call him back?" It's not too bothersome, it's just odd. The songs in the film are pretty enjoyable, catchy, and fun. We Got This Together, I'm the Friend You Need, Time to Be Awesome, One Small Thing, Open Up Your Eyes, and Rainbow. They're all delightful to watch and listen, and not one of them is bad. There are also lots of cameos of other characters from the show, the equivalent of the Simpsons movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Wreck-It Ralph. And they are all present in Canterlot, Vinyl Scratch, Coco Pomel, Photo Finish, Bulk Biceps, etc. And even if Discord isn't in the film, he technically is, not just with the balloon, but also as a silhouette during the end credits. And yes, there are the old characters and they're still great, but the new characters are great too. All the Pirate Parrots, Capper, Queen Novo, Princess Skystar, and Tempest Shadow. And others like the Storm King, Rubber, and Songbird Serenade are mostly okay. And the actors voicing the characters have done a great job. Tara Strong voices Princess Twilight Sparkle, Andrea Libman voices Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy, Ashley Ball voices Rainbow Dash and Applejack, Tabitha St. Germain voices Rarity and Princess Luna, Kathy Westluck voices Spike, Nicole Oliver voices Princess Celestia, Emily Blunt voices Tempest Shadow, Christian Chenoweth voices Princess Skystar, Zoe Saldana voices Captain Solano, Tay Diggs voices Capper, Azor Duba voices Queen Novo, Liev Schreiber voices the Storm King, Michael Pena voices Grubber, and Sia voices Songbird Serenade. As a whole, this movie is pretty great. The characters are great, the story is pretty fun, the animation is very amazing, and the songs are very catchy and fun. Director Jason Thiessen had made a terrific movie with everything I expected, but also something I expected more of. Though not a perfect movie as it does have problems I mentioned before, it's still a wonderful film nonetheless. I've seen this movie the most times in theaters and I haven't gotten tired of it, and I do rank it up with other animated TV shows turned movies like the first SpongeBob SquarePants movie and the Simpsons movie. And with all the great things I said about this film, they are the reasons why I say that this is my #1 favorite 2017 movie. So today, this movie we get a rating of 3.5 stars. So thank you for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Facebook or Twitter, support me on Patreon, and tune you next week for a new video.